and welcome guys to this next tutorial of the intermediate series for the Python programmers. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about methods versus function. So, disclaimer first of all, guys, that this tutorial is an optional tutorial, and you can skip it if you have knowledge of the what are methods and what are functions and what are the difference between them. So it isn't an intermediate concept; it is a concept of beginner. But before moving further, this concept it should be clear to you to all. So let's get started. So method versus function. So methods basically and function. Sorry, I have spelled it wrong here. Yes. So function and methods basically they are similar to say they're similar to each other to a very extent. Like here guys that I have defined that a function called maths and the variables are a b and c and in the written and I've returned a value which is a multiplied by b plus c, and then I've printed those values. So if I run this guys, then you'll see the output 5. So basically methods this is called a simple function, and this is a function you can use where you want in your program irrespective of its class. So this the function basically they don't depend on any class, and they don't access to any class. And when you talk about the methods, so they are very similar to functions, but they basically respond to a class and they are inherited in a class. So let me show you the example of so guys, this is the example for the method. So here I have created a class called maths, then I have created a constructor with the parameters of self, then a, b and c. Then I have defined here self dot a is equals to a, self dot b is equals to b, self dot c is equals to c. Then guys, I have created a method here. So look here guys that it is a method because it takes a parameter self, and it takes a parameter self because it is inside a class called maths, and it basically has access to this class maths. And if you look here guys, then I have just created a method, sorry, a function, and then I have given these three parameters without the self parameter because it is a simple function. But here I have first we have to give a parameter self which is necessary. Then after that we can return the answer by saying that return self dot a into this and this. And then guys, to call a method you have to first create an object. So here I have created an object called call of maths, then I've given a values for these parameters a b and c like 5, 7 and 9, and then I have basically used this call object that call dot show to access the method inside the class of maths. I've said that call dot show, then I've said call dot show, and then I ask them to print the value. So if I comment this out, and now if I print this program of method, then you can see the answer is 80, and I've given the values for 5, 7 and 9. So basically it will take for a it is 5, and for b it is 7, and for c is equals to 9. So to recap it guys, basically functions and methods they are very similar to each other, but when it comes to basically for calling them, so you can call you can call a simple function by just calling the function name and then asking them to print it out by giving the values inside them for the parameters. But for a method you have to first create an object for the class, and then through the object, using that object, you have to call the name of the method which is defined inside this class, no and which is here show. I've created a method called show, so I've called it here using the call object, and then it prints the value. So I hope guys that this is the concept of methods and function is clear to you guys. So that's all for this tutorial. So till then, and if you like this video, then please do subscribe the channel and share with your programmer friends. Until then, goodbye, take care and keep coding.